Stephanie, it's been our tradition in the galas that we've done together to begin each one with a toast. So I'd like to propose that we start this one with a toast.
That sounds great, Kent. If everyone could raise their glass, because even apart, it's Green Lake that brings us together. Cheers.
Cheers. Stephanie, I am really excited to be here with you tonight hosting our first ever virtual gala.
I'm excited too, Kent. I'm Stephanie Prowitz, Executive Director of the Green Lake Association.
And I'm Kent DeLucinet. I'm the President of the Board of Directors of the Green Lake Association. And we are delighted to be with all of you tonight. This year, the pandemic has really meant that we think and do things differently, Stephanie, and this virtual gala is an example of that.
That's right.
I have to admit that I'm missing being at the Shoreline Center surrounded by 350 of our friends and neighbors. But I'm excited about what this venue gives us the opportunity to communicate to our members, to our friends, about what we're doing with the Green Lake Association to really preserve Green Lake.
That's right, and if we can't be at Shoreline, what better place to be than right here on top of Sandstone Bluff? And I'm so grateful to the Vandervelds for lending their property to us this evening. This view, Kent.
Amazing.
It is.
Yeah, amazing indeed. Well, an event like this would never go without sponsorship, so we are tremendously fortunate to have a number of sponsors. I'd like to acknowledge some of them, but we have more than I can even list, I'm afraid. At the platinum level, Gary and Lynn Mecklenburg have been a consistent sponsor for us, and we so appreciate that. Jerry and Judy Specht, our partner at the Sanitary District as well. Joe and Tina Prejean, who have been supportive of so much in the community, are all at the platinum level. At the gold level, Havey Communications and Mike and Jill Havey they've sponsored every gala, and this is our 11th one.
That's right, it is.
Bill and Peggy Mulligan, our new board members, have sponsored at the gold level. In addition to that, we have 25 other sponsors. So too many to name, but they'll be scrolling alongside of the screen so that our members can look at all of them.
That's right. And by the way, Ken, we're so grateful to you and Lee for also being a platinum sponsor for the Shine a Light celebration.
Thank you.
Well, tonight, for those of you watching at home, you are going to have the opportunity to learn about what brings the Green Lake Association's mission to our hearts and to our minds. It's what we do. You're going to be seeing a series of videos to learn about the projects and what motivates our work. And then, at the cherry on top, together at sunset around 8:40 tonight, we're going to ask you to put your cell phones down, shut down those computers, and head to Green Lake for a unified lantern lighting ceremony. We feel like the Green Lake Association has worked for 69 years to really shine a light on the lake's issues, and we want you to celebrate with us the lake's brighter future. So be sure to stay tuned and join us at the end of this for a unified lantern lighting celebration on Green Lake or wherever you are.
Stephanie, 69 years means that next year is our 70th anniversary, so mark your calendar for August 7th of 2021. Hopefully we'll all get together again and share a drink and toast the Green Lakes Association's 70th birthday. But in the 69 years that the GLA has been in existence, the lake has gone through a number of changes. The increased use of phosphorus, the flow of that phosphorus into the lake, the heavy rainstorms have really created the situation that led to the lake being impaired in 2014 and led to the Green Lake Association focusing exclusively on water quality. So that's our challenge. That's what the lake needs, and that's what we're trying to work to provide.
That's right. And we recognize that we have some big challenges ahead of us that we're still working to understand. But right now, there are common sense things that you can support. Things like buckets to give, clean streams, invasive species, green acres, and a greatest need to allow us to be nimble and responsive to whatever comes our way to protect this amazing resource right behind us here.
In addition to those sponsors that I mentioned, we have a number of donors that we'll want to thank, more than we can thank tonight. But I'd like to just draw attention to a couple as we're getting started here. Patrick and Mary Sue Michaels donated extensively this year for $10,000. We so appreciate that. My neighbor and friend Nigel Orion donated $5,000, and we so appreciate Nigel's continued support. We're lucky to have so many donors already, and we're hoping that what you see tonight will motivate you, if you haven't already, to give to the cause.
Those are some familiar names to the GLA and to the community, but be sure to stay tuned throughout the night, because not only are you going to be seeing some familiar names, but also faces of people in our community that are really stepping up to support the mission of the Green Lake Association. Tonight, at any time, you can head to greenlakeassociation.org/shine-a-light if you'd like to make a donation, a fund-in-need donation to support the critical mission of the Green Lake Association. We cannot do this work without you, so we thank you in advance for your generosity.
This first video that we're going to see is going to highlight the work we're doing to restore 11 miles of stream that need to be restored, and our goal is to get moving on a number of those. So enjoy this video, please.
The increase in more intense, more frequent rainstorms overwhelms streams and leads to soil erosion, flooding, and potential bank collapse. Eroding streams result in more phosphorus entering Green Lake, which then degrades the water quality of Big Green.
Streams can have a real effect on the creek itself and then on the lake downstream. If you've got dirty streams coming into the lake, you're not going to clean up the lake.
Last year, the GLA and our partners were able to make much-needed improvements to Roy Creek, one of the 8 major streams that flow to Green Lake. Recent heavy rainstorms caused large sections of Roy Creek's stream banks to crumble. Not only was this a safety issue for the farmers and their equipment, but the ongoing issue was sending phosphorus-fueled sediment downstream to Green Lake. Once in the lake, this phosphorus fuels weed and algae growth, ultimately diminishing Green Lake's water quality. Stream restoration keeps lake-harming phosphorus on the land and out of the lake. Thanks to last year's Clean Stream donors, the Green Lake Association was able to work with our partners to repair over a half a mile of stream bank on Roy Creek. Today, the gentle slopes and meandering curves slow down floodwater and lower the risk of future damage.
You just take every piece of the pie that's contributing into the lake each year and you try and cut it down as best as you can. You work with farmers to try and reduce the amount of runoff that's coming off their fields, and then try and fix those streams that flow through their fields so it's not eroding away our stream banks and eventually getting into the lake.
With your help, the GLA and our partners have collectively restored over 4.8 miles of eroding streams so far. The Clean Streams Fund focuses on repairing the remaining 10 miles of crumbling stream bank. Your donation helps the GLA move full steam ahead toward reaching our goal of repairing every foot of the eroding stream bank that flows to Green Lake.
So that video highlights the stream restoration work that we think is so important to help preserve the lake. As an example of those projects, any day now, Dakin Creek will be seeing the installation of 2 new culverts as part of our Bring Back the Brookies, bringing back brook trout to Dakin Creek. Pretty exciting.
That's right, and I'll tell you that one of the highlights of my year last year was going into Dakin Creek with the staff for a volunteer day to bring back the brookies. We got to move entire trees on behalf of Dakin Creek. One of the highlights of what our work at the GLA is working with such exceptional professional staff. And not only are they exceptional, but I have to tell you, Kent, they're also generous. I have a bit of a surprise for you tonight.
Okay.
As an outpouring of the passion that the GLA staff does for the mission of Green Lake, we have collectively pledged $2,020 in donations for the Shine a Light celebration. So I'm thrilled to share with you that that's 100% of the staff supporting the Shine a Light and the work that we're all about tonight.
Stephanie, I'm overwhelmed by this. This is just a tremendous gesture, and I think an indication of the commitment and the professionalism of you and your team. This is really touching me. And so I hope that that this is a signal to our members and our donors that not only is the staff emotionally committed, but they're willing to donate to the cause that the Green Lake supports. So thank you to you and the team so much.
You bet. We're happy to do it.
Well, it's fabulous. And in addition to having a great staff, the GLA works with a group of partners that is tremendous. And without them, we couldn't do it. The GLA doesn't function alone. We have a diverse group of partners, the Land Conservation Department, the Sanitary District, the DNR, a number of universities and technical institutions, all of which share the load with us and collaborate with us on the projects that we think are preserving and eventually restoring Green Lake. In addition to that, in terms of not being just a staff or just a board, we rely on volunteers.
That's right. And in fact, last year we relied on 115 volunteers who donated 740 hours of their time to the GLA. We couldn't do what we do without our volunteers. Yeah,
they're a great asset. Some like to be out in front, be involved, have their waders on in Dakin Creek, or working in the office and stuffing volunteers. But some people like to stay behind the scenes and make an anonymous donation. And so we've got a couple of those tonight that we'd like to say thank you for. We had a $10,000 anonymous donation. We had a $5,000. Yeah. So those anonymous donors, we appreciate what you've contributed as well. Without recognizing you personally, know that it's greatly appreciated.
That's right. And so whether you want recognition or you want to maintain some anonymity, you can make a donation tonight to support the mission of the Green Lake Association. You can head to greenlakeassociation.org/shinealight.
Stephanie, now I want you and all of our friends to stay tuned, because in the next segment I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the board has committed in response to the generosity of the staff.
So before that, though, be sure to stay tuned for the next segment when we're going to talk about the importance of Project Green Acres. You know, over 60% of our watershed is agricultural, and so farmers are a part of the solution for a brighter future for Green Lake.
Agricultural land comprises approximately 65% of the Green Lake watershed. We're lucky to have so many incredible agricultural neighbors, many working to incorporate farming techniques that reduce the nutrient footprint to Green Lake. Soil loss from farm fields and over-application of fertilizer reduce a farm's bottom line and hurt the water quality of Green Lake and our local streams. These phosphorus sources increase weed and algae growth and increase the risk of a toxic blue-green algae bloom. The Green Lake Association works side by side with farmers to encourage the use of lake-friendly best management practices such as cover crops, no-till, managed grazing, and more. For 3 years now, we've provided educational opportunities by co-hosting a conservation field day with the Farm Bureau and other agricultural partners. We've provided over 21 scholarships to students and first-generation farmers for soil health and grazing conferences, helping to ensure that our next generation of farmers will be well-equipped as successful innovators. The GLA also sponsors the watershed's first ever demonstration farm, located at Pollock View Dairy. The farm is testing land management practices to increase their use in our area. This educational lab is an ongoing effort to reduce the agricultural impact of farms on Green Lake.
I was picked as one of 10 different farms that is in this demo farm group. Hopefully we can learn some things that we can share with other farmers that aren't in the network.
Your support of the Green Acres Fund increases the adoption of lake-friendly agricultural practices and helps ensure our next generation of farmers will have the resources and knowledge they need to be environmental stewards. By donating to the Green Acres Fund, you're directly contributing to the education of future farmers and the establishment of conservation practices right here on the ground in the Green Lake watershed.
So we just saw a segment about the importance of agriculture and the investment of the Green Lake Association in farming practices. And that's not just hypothetical discussion. We actually have 2 farmers on the Green Lake Association board. We're so grateful to Jim Hebby and Matt Borson for helping guide our agricultural strategy.
Lucky to have them.
We are. And I'll tell you, Kent, that when I look at the list of board members, I am in awe of their diversity, their talent, and their passion. Every time we get together, I'm so impressed with their enthusiasm.
Well, Stephanie, I agree with you. And as the board president, I think they're fun to work with. They're positive and engaging, and our meetings are so productive because they all bring something different to the meeting. And I think that means a great deal. One of the things that's clear is that they are very committed to the mission of the Green Lake Association, committed in a way that I want to present to you a check for $42,540, which it represents the commitment of 100% of the board members.
Kent, this is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. What a great testimony to the commitment of the board to our mission.
I think so. Yeah, I think it really, the board has put its money where its mouth is, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Leading by example. Yeah. I like that. Thank you. That's amazing.
Well, we're happy to do it because we believe so strongly in what the GLA is doing.
Yeah, and you know, we keep our board members busy, but also they're stepping up in an incredible way. Even our first-time board members, we have 4 this year: Sharon Dolan, Bill Mulligan, Jeff Shattuck, and Rick Wilson. All 4 of our first-year board members are sponsors to the Shine a Light celebration.
And making a real contribution to the board as well. So they're an example of what we're able to attract to the GLA, because I think we have a clear mission that appeals to all of us who love the lake.
Yeah, how can you not? Look at this sunset. This is amazing.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I want everybody to stay tuned because we're going to talk about first-time donors in the next segment. But before that, we're going to look at what the GLA is doing to restrict the flow of invasive species into the lake.
The introduction of invasive species to Big Green has had a big impact on its water quality. Zebra mussels, carp, and invasive plants like Eurasian water milfoil have all made their way here and have thrown Green Lake into a permanent ecological imbalance. Zebra mussels cut feet, cover piers, and clog boat motors. Their feeding activity allows sunlight to penetrate deeper into the lake, which promotes deeper, thicker weed growth. Carp create a smelly mess on shore, as we remember from 2016. They wipe out the ability of nearby wetlands to filter pollution, and they send weed-fueling sediment into Green Lake. Eurasian water milfoil grows in thick mats, makes boat navigation difficult, and compromises the magnificent beauty of our lake. Once invasive species are introduced into a lake, they become very difficult to manage and are often impossible to ever remove completely. The best way to protect Green Lake from invasive species is to prevent them from getting into the lake in the first place. Thanks to previous invasive species fund donors, the GLA equipped all Green Lake boat launches with new invasive species tool boards and improved AIS signage. These funds also allowed for a Clean Boats, Clean Waters inspector to be stationed at Green Lake boat launches this summer.
I talk to boaters and inform them about aquatic invasive species. It can be hectic at times. There's plenty of people that come through these landings, hundreds of people. It's just nice to be able to put yourself out there and actually tell people what are the right steps to really keep this lake the way it should be.
Even though Green Lake already had some aquatic invasive species that will require continued monitoring and management, there are invasive species in nearby lakes, like spiny water flea and starry stonewort, that Green Lake does not have yet. Together, we can keep it this way. We need your help to prevent new invasive species from entering our natural treasure. By donating to the Invasive Species Fund, you help the GLA staff boat launches, provide better tools and AIS signage, enhance monitoring and removal efforts, and reduce the likelihood of any new invasive species from making Green Lake their home.
Kent, I don't have to remind you what happened in 2016. Carpageddon. When dead carp were washing up on shore. And I'll tell you, that was a real catalyst for us for raising more money, not just for carp removal, but all sorts of invasive species management. And a lot of that support came from first-time donors. We, in fact, tonight have a number of first-time donors who have never given to the Green Lake Association before, but they're stepping up for the Shine Light celebration because they understand that their donations to the GLA can make a real difference. And I want to tell you who some of those are. Kathy Cole, Rick, and Leanne Walsh, thank you so much for your support of the Shine Light celebration and the mission of the Green Lake Association to make sure that we can protect, improve, and restore one day Green Lake's water quality.
Stephanie, new members and new donors are the lifeblood of our organization. It's really important that we bring everybody who lives around the lake and in the watershed in to participate in our mission. So we're especially grateful to the new donors that have stepped up and participated in the Shine a Light celebration. 81% of our donors last year gave $250 or less. So this is a really important part of our financial support, but more importantly, it's the indication that so many people are subscribing and committing to the mission of the Green Lake Association.
Yeah, that's right, Ken. A gift of any size, of any type, really makes a difference. If you need a reminder, again, where to donate tonight, be sure to head to greenlakeassociation.org/shinealight to make your donation to one of our 4 buckets for giving to support the mission of the Green Lake Association.
Stay tuned for a new fund that we're introducing tonight that allows us to support the broad range of research and implementation projects.
Green Lake is on a perpetual treadmill where rain events and phosphorus loading outpace our efforts. We have to do more and more lake protecting projects to just prevent Green Lake's water quality from worsening. To make a meaningful impact on long-term water quality, we need to ramp up projects and consider creative technologies that get ahead of the growing pressures threatening Green Lake. The solutions we need cannot be copy and pasted from one lake to the next. Green Lake is unique, and the strategy we'll need to restore it will be equally unique. That's why the GLA is engaging research partners at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, Michigan Tech, Purdue, the U.S. Geological Survey, and others to better understand the lake's challenges so we can develop science-backed solutions specific to Green Lake.
I've been working with Green Lake for a few years now, trying to understand the causes of this metalimnetic oxygen minimum.
I'm looking back over the past 30 years to understand how big of a problem historical phosphorus is, so that we can use this information to make decisions for the future watershed management.
There's no denying that Green Lake is facing some big challenges, but the GLA is determined to help protect and ultimately restore the lake at the heart of our community. By shining a light on these issues, we can help our lake change for the better. Your contributions to the Greatest Need Fund allow us to be nimble and responsive in our strategies to address Green Lake's water quality challenges. By donating to our Greatest Need Fund, you're investing in a brighter future for Green Lake through innovative solutions, organizational development, and research.
Stephanie, the video we just saw illustrates the range of projects that the Green Lake Association sponsors with our partners, research, best management practices in the watershed, work that's important to understand the issues that Green Lake is facing. The Greatest Need Fund gives us the flexibility and the nimbleness to support projects that arise that we think are important in pursuing our understanding of the issues facing the lake. So we're excited about that.
That's right.
We're also excited, let me tell you, to announce tonight a $20,000 matching gift fund.
That's incredible, Kent.
We're excited that because any donations that our viewers make tonight up to midnight, up to $20,000 will be matched on a dollar-for-dollar basis, and we're really enthusiastic about that. Those participants in the matching gift fund will be along the side of the screen as the video goes forward.
You know, Ken, that's really amazing. This is really what we've been building up to all night. I think all night long we've seen what board members and first-time donors and staff members are doing to support the work of the Green Lake Association. And now's our chance to turn to the community and to see what they can do to support our mission. That's pretty exciting.
Indeed, indeed.
Well, I have to tell you, by the way, though, that people don't just give because of dollars and statistics. We give from our heart. We give to what matters. We give to Green Lake. It's part of our identity and our families.
Because it means so much to all of us.
It sure does, and how can it not? It's a gem of a natural resource. So stay tuned, and up next you're going to see just that in action. The Green Lake Association is not just the center of our communities, but it's a part of our identity. And we give from the heart because we give to the things that we love.
We do.
For generations, people have looked to Green Lake for refuge and solace, especially during challenging times. And while the chaos of 2020 is unprecedented, we look to a historic constant for peace, Green Lake. Through world wars and, yes, even pandemics, the peace and comfort of Green Lake has brought us closer together as families and community. For thousands of years, life itself has been sustained by Green Lake. We are not the first to seek safe harbor in Green Lake, and we won't be the last. Yet, while generations have watched the sun rise and set over Green Lake, we must recognize it is far from the same lake it once was. So this year in particular, we reflect. We reflect not for nostalgia, but to crystallize our vision for the future. And by doing so, we move forward with greater purpose, greater vision, and greater resolve.
Together with my sisters, we are the third generation to own this property here on Green Lake.
We think Green Lake is very special. I grew up in Green Lake. We actually got engaged out on the 4th of July on Joe and Lori Norton's Chris Craft underneath the fireworks.
40 years ago.
Some of my first recollections of this lake are how pristine it was, how clear the water was. Scuba diving. Oh, I forgot about this. I love the scuba dive, and our favorite place to dive would be Norwegian Bay. You could be in very deep water and still it was clear enough to see the bottom. And you would see fish, around these cliffs.
The lake at that particular point was crystal clear. I've been here now for 73 years. Green Lake has undergone some dramatic changes.
When we were little, you could see down 20, maybe 25, 30 feet, and the water was really pretty crystal clear. That slowly has gone away.
You would start to see more weeds. You would start to see the green mats. Even kids just out there would say, ugh, what's going on? I was a teenager and we were out water skiing every day back there on the inlet. To think about somebody water skiing back in the inlet right now, it's not like it was.
The voices of the past give us perspective for the future. After all, we didn't inherit this lake from our ancestors. We're borrowing it from our grandchildren. And so, despite all the challenges, the Green Lake Association is not slowing down. We are resolute in our charge and dogged in our approach, leveraging cutting-edge research and completing our essential work. Our efforts are focused on the future, to protect, improve, and one day, ultimately restore Green Lake's quality to what it once was.
Phosphorus in itself is good. We all need it to live, but lakes need a balanced diet. And legacy phosphorus or historical phosphorus is allowing plants and algae to just grow in excessive amounts. It creates conditions where it's hard for fish to live.
It's normal for a deep lake to have low oxygen at the bottom. But what's weird about Green Lake is as you're floating down, at some point in the middle, it goes way down and then it comes back up and then it goes down again when you hit the bottom of the lake. And that's that metalimnetic oxygen minimum. That's what's unusual.
Despite all of these decades of land management that are focused on reducing phosphorus that's getting into the lake still has really high levels of phosphorus.
I will go out and survey streams. Back in 2014, I did the work. I'm going to repeat the study in 2020 and see if things have changed.
History in this way matters. It matters what we've been doing previously, and what we're doing now also creates the future that we're going to live in. The more that we can do right now, the better the situation will be in the future.
2020 is a year that will be remembered as one unlike any other. The Green Lake Association is using it as a catalyst to double down on what really matters. In a year that's unprecedented, we're embarking on equally unprecedented efforts to protect the lake so many love. And so, in spite of it all, we have hope. Hope in tomorrow, and hope for a brighter future.
We all have something invested in improving and keeping the quality of this lake pristine.
They don't make too many lakes like this anymore, and it's pretty awesome. It's one of the best lakes in the state.
To wake up every morning and look out at the lake is a true blessing.
Morning over Green Lake.
My little corner of paradise.
Nice cast, dude.
Six-month-old baptism.
Green Lake is a special place.
Of course, hope alone won't get us to where we want to be. That means it's up to us, our generation, to take action. It's up to us to ensure that this natural treasure is protected and preserved. It's up to us to work on behalf of future generations, so they too can look to Green Lake as a beacon of beauty, solace, and refuge.
Well, Stephanie, you were exactly right. I think that video outlines the real love that all of us have for the lake and the commitment that we're making to it. So that was great. Thank you for that. It's been wonderful sharing the evening with you and with all of you in this amazing setting. So as we wrap up this show, I want to say thank you to you and your team and to all of our donors. There's some logistics that I think we need to remind people of. We've got a matching gift, dollar for dollar, for every donation between now and midnight of tonight. We have a website that will accommodate your giving very easily. We try to make this as easy as we can. But most of all, what we want is your support and your commitment to the work that we're doing to restore Green Lake. That's really the importance of tonight's message is that there's work being done that's really important, and we're so proud of it and so committed to getting it done. So that's one last housekeeping event. We've got a raffle, right? 10 exciting prizes, and that's going to be tonight live at 9:40?
9:15 via Facebook Live. Be sure to tune in. But by the way, if you win, you can head to the website. You don't have to be watching that to test your luck.
That's
right.
Know
if you win.
Good. So thank you for being part of the evening with me.
Well, thank you, Ken. And I have to say, this has been quite lovely, but something's missing. So much about Green Lake is about families. And so the work of the Green Lake Association is motivated by love of this natural resource, and love of the people who we hold so dear. Tonight is really about dedicating ourselves to the mission of the Green Lake Association, not only for us, but for future generations. Mike Lehner once told me, by the way, I think he borrowed this quote, but we didn't inherit Green Lake from our ancestors, we're borrowing it from our grandchildren. And you heard that earlier tonight in the video. And that is what tonight is all about.
Indeed. In fact, I'd like to propose another toast.
I can agree to that.
We'll open and close this evening with a toast. And I'd like to say that the work that we're doing together as the Green Lake Association, our members, our donors, our sponsors, is all about preserving the lake for Charlotte, for our grandchildren, Lee, for all of the families that have been made Green Lake such an important part of their life, but especially this year of the pandemic. So we've all been aware of the importance of Green Lake, and I want to toast to what it means to all of us.
Cheers.
Hear, hear.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. To Green Lake.
So tonight, then, now is the time to put those computers down, right? To turn off the cell phones.
Indeed, and accompany us to the lakeside.
That's right. So grab your lanterns, and at this point, head down to the water or wherever you are on Green Lake or somewhere else, and just take a minute to light the lamp and remember and be inspired by the brighter future that we all have because of your support, because of the passion of the people who are working tirelessly behind the scenes for the Green Lake Association. We're better with you, and we're so grateful for all that you do for us. Okay, to the lake. Let's go. Ready,
Come on,
Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Let's go. Don't trip.